Hi guys! Today we're going to learn about the Pythagorean theorem. So let's get started. The definition to the Pythagorean theorem is if a triangle has a right angle, then the sum of the squares of the legs equals the square of the hypotenuse. Now there's a few terms here that are new to us. Let's go over them. So first one is legs. So the legs are the sides of your right triangle that are connected to that 90-degree angle. So if you see here, we have two legs, one right here and one right here. Then we have our hypotenuse, which is the side that is opposite of our 90-degree angle in our right triangle. Your hypotenuse is always the longest side of your right triangle. Now let's break down the definition even more. It first says the sum of the squares of the legs. Remember that sum represents addition, so you're going to add two values together. Then it says the squares of the legs. Remember back early on to the year when we learned how to square a value. That means we are multiplying that value by itself twice, and it is represented by a little 2 next to that value up in the upper right-hand corner. So that's where we get this part of our equation. We take the squares of our sides. So notice I named this leg A and then this leg B. I squared both of those values and then I added them together, showing the first part of our definition. Next, we have our hypotenuse being represented with C. In our definition, it says these legs that are squared and added together equal the square of our hypotenuse. So that's why we set that value equal to C squared, because we're looking for the square of the hypotenuse. If you want to think about this geometrically, we can use the area of a square. So the area of the square is just the side length squared, because each side is the same, the length and the width is the same value. So if we have our triangle here, this side is A, this side is B, this side is C, you can look that A squared plus B squared should equal C squared. We will go a little deeper into this geometrical way of solving this problem in an upcoming example. Now let's go ahead and solve a few problems. In this problem, we're trying to find the hypotenuse. I know that's the side we're looking for because it's across from our right angle. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to substitute values in for A, B, and C. Our two side lengths that were given were 4 inches and 3 inches, so that's going to represent our A and our B values. X represents our hypotenuse, showing that that's the unknown value we're looking for, so that's what we're going to substitute in for C. Then go ahead and solve for X. So 3 squared gives us 9, 4 squared gives us 16, and we're going to leave x squared on the opposite side of the equation since we cannot simplify it at this time. Then go ahead and add 9 with 16, giving you 25 equals x squared. Now we still need to get x by itself by undoing this square. The opposite of squaring something is taking the square root. What we do to one side, we must do to the other, so the square root of 25 gives us 5. Therefore, x equals 5 inches. This is how you solve it algebraically. Now let's talk about how to solve it geometrically. Right here I have a square, which is 25 squared inches. Using the Pythagorean theorem, I know that these two squares should equal 25 squares. So I'm going to mark off 16 square inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now I need to also show that 9 square inches fit in our 25 square inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The reason this works in this example is because 4, 3, and 5. The reason this works in this example is because 4, 3, and 5 are Pythagorean triplets. This example is a little different because instead of trying to find the hypotenuse, our unknown value is one of our leg lengths, one of the other sides on our right triangle. We're going to set this up the same way by trying to substitute values for A, B, and C. We know that one side length is 2 feet, so we can substitute that in for A. X is our other side length, so we can plug that in for B to show that is the value that we are looking for. Then it provided that our hypotenuse is 9 feet, so go ahead and plug that in for our C. Then go ahead and simplify. 2 squared gives us 4, and 9 squared gives us 81. Then go ahead and try to solve for x. In other words, get x by itself. So we're going to move the 4 over by subtracting it. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. So 81 minus 4 gives us 77. That is equal to x squared. Now to undo that square, we are going to take the square root of it. What we do to one side, we must do to the other side of our equation. So we're going to take the square root of 77, and that is approximately 8.77. In some of these problems, you might not get a whole number, so always round to the nearest tenth or the nearest hundredth. Well, I hope this video was helpful when it came to learning the Pythagorean theorem. Let me know if you have any questions. I will provide additional resources like extra problems, as well as more information on the Pythagorean theorem and Pythagorean triplets.